Good evening. Welcome to ONV as we present a healthy conversation. I'm Nurse Pat, and tonight our discussion is going to be on caregiving. And I found a scripture that I think was fitting for the occasion. It's Colossians 3:12, compassion for a caregiver. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. What is caregiving? And some statistics sooner or later, most people will be caregivers. Over 53 million people will be providing unpaid care in the U.S. in 2020, according to AARP. Many never imagined themselves in that role. It's just sort of happened. For some, it was an accident or serious illness and someone who matters. For others, it was gradual decline in such a person. For some, that person is a partner, a parent, others a friend, or even a friend of a friend. Help is wanted or needed, and people step up. Tonight, my guest is Tierra Stephens, and she's going to share with you her journey as a caregiver. And I'm going to turn it over and let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her.
Thank you for having me. My name is Tierra Whitney, and I am the CEO and founder of Smiling Tears Caregiver Support Group. I've been around caregiving my entire life since I was about 4 years old, and I seen my mom be a caregiver to her mom. But then when I became married to my former husband, I became his caregiver. And so that's what made me birth Smiling Tears Caregiver Support Group, because I didn't have any outlets. I didn't see any support groups to join. So I decided to start a caregiver support group of my own. And with that, I have flourished, having yearly luncheons. I have monthly meetings, and I'm just an advocate of caregiving overall. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, not giving away your age or anything, but if you don't mind, how old were you when you became a caregiver?
So I got married in 2016. And so I'm going to give away my age with this. But I got married in 2016. And about 5 months after our wedding day, I had just turned 30 years old. And that's when I got the call that my former husband was in a work accident, and I became a caregiver to him. So,
And I myself, mine was more professional, being
mm-hmm,
a nurse. But yes, I've been a personal caregiver as well. And I do understand that that can be stressful
mm-hmm,
when it's not a job where you can walk away and go home
mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
leave it all there. But when it's at home, it's a lot different.
Mm-hmm,
And being a young person and a young mom at
mm-hmm.
that time, too, you had double
Yeah.
duties there,
Mm-hmm,
caring for your spouse
mm-hmm,
and caring for your child
mm-hmm.
and not knowing what the outcome would be.
Yes.
And I can say I also watched your mom being a caregiver
Mm-hmm.
to her mom and
Yeah.
now her mom and her dad.
Yes.
So we want people to understand that caregiving, it's a passion. Not
Mm-hmm.
everybody is cut out to be a caregiver. And when you said smile and tears, I like that
Mm-hmm.
because most of the time there are tears.
Mm-hmm.
But what made you come up with the smiling tears? How do you smile through your tears?
So I'm so happy you asked me that. So I came up with Smiling Tears when I had my first group meeting. One of my flyers had a lady on the front where she had her hand over her mouth, and on her hand it said, "I'm happy. I'm not sad, but she had tears coming down. And so that reminded me of just how we live our day to day lives. A lot of us, just not caregivers, a lot of us do. We know how to dress it up, we know how to make it look good. We know how to smile and say everything is going good, but inside we're really tore up, we're really crying, we're really depressed, and so many different things are going on inside, but we are smiling on the outside. So that's what how I came with the name Smiling Tears, came up with the name Smiling Tears.
Now, your support group, you said that you have a support group.
Mm-hmm.
How do people know or find you if they wanted to be a part or come in and sit in or listen or find out about you
Mm-hmm.
and your group? And how often do you meet?
So I was doing monthly meetings, but then when COVID happened, so many people stopped showing up and stopped coming. So I started doing virtual meetings. But now I just normally on my Instagram page, on the Smiling Tears support group Instagram page, I'll post and I'll advertise like a 15-minute check-in because I know we're busy, with everything that we have going on in life. So I always posted like a 15-minute check-in where I'll just jump on a Zoom call and we'll get on there and just talk for about 15 minutes and just see how our mental is going and all those things. So I usually do that every Thursday, or I try to do it at least every Thursday.
Being a young person, what keeps you going?
My daughter, and I'm a back up. I'm gonna say God. Number one, God is what keeps me going because I know without Him and not having a relationship with Him like I have, I know I wouldn't have the strength to keep doing the things that I'm doing. And so I'm going to just say God first, and then I'll say my daughter, because I know um, she looks up to me a lot. She watches me. And so I always try to keep going for her and just the community that I've built in general. So many people just admire the platform that I built and the community I built. So I try to just keep going and stand strong for just people that is inspired by the work that I have done.
And I know that your daughter is a teenager and junior in high school.
Junior in high
Junior in
school.
high
Yeah.
school. What keeps her going?
What keeps her going? Just by us creating a comfortable space for her. Just because she's been through a lot too. She's never had a normal childhood. She have, but at a very young age, the accident happened with her dad. So she wasn't able to have a normal childhood. So we tried to create a healthy space for her. We tried to create a comfortable space for her where she know that she's taken care of and that she's loved, and so by us creating that for her, we see it blooming out of her too,
Hmm.
so that's how I believe that she keeps going, and I keep her, make sure that she stays involved. When I go to church, she's with me, and just trying to stay positive. A lot of the things that we do or that we mimic starts from home. So I try to make sure that I build a positive atmosphere, a positive home for her to follow. So.
And again, I've watched her grow and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the two of you together. So what would you say to another teenager out there that could possibly be going through what she is going through but don't know how to express what they are feeling? Because they know
Mm-hmm.
kids have so much
Yeah, they
already.
do.
So what would you say to another teenager if they were experiencing that?
I would say to another teenager, just like they, just as if they were my daughter or my son, get the counseling. Go to counseling. A lot of people I know when I was growing up, we didn't really talk about counseling, and
Hmm.
so I have my daughter, Jayliana, I have her in counseling. And even though it was something that she was like, I don't want to go to counseling. No, go to counseling because it's things that you may want to talk about that you can't talk to me about, or you feel like you don't know how to express yourself because at her age, she really don't know what she's feeling or what she's going through or can't put a word to it. And so I make sure she go to counseling at least once a month,
Hmm.
so I would just advise for anyone her age to get into counseling, and or just if you can't go to counseling, find a trusted friend that's older that has more knowledge and wisdom than you that you can talk to if you don't feel comfortable talking to your parent.
And I know in caregiving, when we say caregiving, we're talking about taking care of someone that is in some way incapable of taking care of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a physical illness, a physical injury, and it can also be mental, the
Mm-hmm.
person that you're taking care of. And I know a lot of people, we find ourselves, especially myself, we find ourselves taking care of our parents, as your mom
Yeah.
does, because they get to a stage in life where they are no longer able to take care of themselves. And we
Mm-hmm.
find ourselves being the parent,
Yeah.
being that
Mm-hmm.
parent. And I have been in that role
Mm-hmm.
where um, having to take care of. And I wasn't always physically there. My mom is no longer with us, but I had a sister that
Mm-hmm.
was right there with her through that. And now I have a niece who is taking care of her mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sit back and I look and I think, that may be my kid someday.
Yeah.
I may be in the position where
Mm-hmm.
they will have to take care of me. And I often wonder what goes through the caregiver's mind
Mm-hmm.
when they're taking care of someone else. Because like I said, with my mom, I was here, she was in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go down, but I wasn't there daily
Yeah.
taking care of her. So, what is it like to be a daily
A daily
caregiver?
caregiver. It has its ups and downs. So a lot of times you are tired, especially if you work. I was still am, have a 9 to 5 job. So just imagine working 8 hour shifts, and it's not a job that you just sit down at your desk,
Hmm.
or be behind a computer the entire time. I'm doing physical labor work, and so doing that for 8 hours and then getting off of work and then having to come home. Not to, I can't just lay down all the time. The work don't stop. You know, so I still will have to get off of work and take care of my former husband, and make sure Jayliana was taken care of and make sure I was taken care of. And that was like the biggest challenge for me, was to put me first.
What is self care like when you're a caregiver?
Self care, for me, is just doing things that make you feel relaxed and calm, and where it's like an outlet. And for me, I found my outlet in exercising and working out. That was my outlet, because when I got done, I felt like I had more energy to give to my daughter and her
Hmm.
dad. So just doing things that make you happy. And a vacation don't have to be a month or a couple weeks. It could be 5 minutes of doing something that you enjoy doing, rather sitting in your favorite chair and just sitting there in silence for 5 minutes, or reading a book, so.
And I do watch you a lot on your Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and on things that a lot of times you'll have questions out there
Mm-hmm.
uh, for people. What inspired you to reach out to others when you are already going through yourself? What inspires
Mm-hmm.
you?
Because I know what it's like to feel forgotten. I know what it's like to feel like do anybody understand what I'm going through? Do anybody understand where I'm at? Do anybody care what I'm going through? And so that's what inspired me to just ask questions, do a check-in, see how people are doing mentally, because a lot of people don't have that, where they have somebody who's checking on them and seeing how they are doing. And so what I've learned in this journey that I've been on is to turn whatever pain that I may have felt into a purpose, and whatever hurt that may have felt into helping other people in a way that I needed that help. So.
Okay, that's good. Now, I do know that you have an annual event, and it's called the Smile and Tears Luncheon. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit and tell us what brought that about and exactly what is it?
Okay. So I started the annual luncheons when I started the caregiver support group, the monthly caregiver support group. So after the first support group meeting that I had, I didn't think that many people was going to show up. So and it may sound small, but I had over like 10 people there. And for me, that was a lot of people for a first time caregiver support group meeting. And I didn't realize how many people needed it. And so listening to the stories and just listening to the pain and the hurt that so many caregivers go through, God put it on my heart once again. Hey, do a luncheon. Start celebrating these caregivers and letting them know that they are loved and that they are seen. And so I started doing the yearly luncheons. The same year I started the caregiver support group.
And what does that luncheon entail? Now, and I know I think I've only missed one.
Yeah,
one,
you've been
and
there.
I was on a cruise then,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's okay. You support.
But what is the purpose of your luncheon other than bringing these people together? I know, and I had said earlier that we weren't going to cry tonight, so any tears going to be smiling tears.
Right.
But what does it mean to you and the people that come? I know each year that I've come and I walk away with something different. Each year to me is better than the year before. No matter how many people are there, it's better than the year before. And so what do you think others walk away? Do you get people to give you feedback? What do you think they walk away with?
Just like what you said, the purpose is for them to walk away this luncheon feeling encouraged, feeling inspired, and feeling like they are loved and that they are not on this journey alone. To leave this luncheon with more resources, because a lot of times we come in and we are lost. I know what that feel like. I know what it feel like to feel lost and like, who can I talk to? Who can I turn to? Who can help me? And so that's the purpose for these luncheons, is for people that's walking similar journeys to come together and be able to lean on one another for support and to get the resources that they need.
I know the one that was just this year, there were two young ladies there, and both similar stories but different. And the first young lady that spoke, she tore at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
Because to imagine a family member you walk with daily, and this was young people, and that's why I really wanted to have you tonight, being a young person, being a caregiver, because most of it is, we look at older people, well, the adult children taking care of their parents. You don't often think about taking care of your sister, taking care of your husband, when you're both young. And taking care of your child, because some people, it's their child that they are taking care of. And I know that you did a book.
Yeah.
So would you want to tell us a little bit about that and how people can get your book if they want it?
So my book is Choosing Me. And it's 5 ways to navigate through life without neglecting yourself. And so I wrote this book for people to get more resources on how to care for themselves while taking care of someone else. And you can get this book on Amazon. It's called Choosing Me. And you can also get it on my website, smilingtearsfortwayne.com.
Okay, and some of your others, I know that you have other websites. So you want to tell us, especially maybe somebody wants to be involved in your luncheon. And now I know you start preparing earlier.
Yes, I do.
And the earlier you start, the more you're prepared and get stuff out there. Tell them how they can, if someone wanted to be involved, if someone wanted, just don't, you don't know, somebody may want to donate. How would they become involved in that?
Okay, yeah. So they can go to actually the email smilingtearsfortwayne@gmail.com. And we are also on Instagram, smilingtearsupportgroup.com or Smiling Tears Support Group on Instagram as well. And under Facebook, we are encouraged. It's under Encourage Tierra. And so they can inbox or they can email and some, we'll get back with them. So
Okay. And as we come to a wrap, getting to the end of this, what would you want to say to the public about Smiling Tears? Or maybe it's someone that's not even in Fort Wayne that's listening to this and cannot be a part, but what would you have to say to them about the journey that they are taking?
I guess what I would have to say to them is to just stay strong, and just the same advice that I got during the journey that I was on is to I know a lot of times we get stuck in, or we get into a depression and we get into feeling discouraged or feeling like we are alone, and it's okay to feel like that. Those are human feelings, but just make sure you don't get stuck there. Make sure you find a community. Make sure you have supportive friends, positive people that you are around, and just be, and I tell my daughter this all the time, just be intentional about surrounding yourself with positive people and positive conversations. And that would be my advice.
And I know as we are talking, a lot of times, and I look back, most of the time it's the woman being the caregiver. But I want to let know there are men out there.
There's men out there
that are caregivers. And if there's a man listening tonight and wants to come and share what it's like to be a male caregiver, they can reach out to us and come on. If there's a man there and come on and share what it's like to be a male caregiver, because I was a part of, when it was in Fort Wayne, the Alzheimer's support group. I was one of their facilitators. And I know there were so many gentlemen that would come in whose wives were now had dementia or Alzheimer's, and they were in that position of wondering, and a lot of people have the question, if my spouse if I'm no longer a spouse to them because they are not doing their spousal things, is it fair to me to continue to be there? And that's not something I can answer because I have not been in that position. And but I do know, and I thank you for starting your group.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of young people that I am sure, and older people that you have encouraged. You encourage me all the time. Every day you encourage me.
Thank you.
And for those of you who don't know Tierra, she's given you how to reach out to her, and she is an encouraging young lady. And I admire her for what she does and what she has done for herself and for her community. So please reach out to her, support her, and support that neighbor, that friend
Mm-hmm.
Call them up, ask them, how are you today? And one thing that I've found that also, if you know someone that's a caregiver, call them up and say, hey, I can sit there while you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I can sit there while you take a shower. Sometimes something like
Mm-hmm.
that is
It's a lot.
just something
It's
that
a
they
lot.
need. I can sit there while you take a shower.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go in there and eat. Take yourself out to eat,
Mm-hmm.
do something for yourself. So, again, I want to thank you
I wanted
for,
to say one more thing too.
please.
Is we are, I don't know when this will air, but if it haven't already, we are planning our panel discussion as well. So it's not just stopping with the luncheons and the yearly meetings. We are keeping this, different things going in the community for our caregivers to have access to. So we are doing our panel discussion on October 11th. And I do have a male black therapist who will be on this panel because I know you made me think of it when you said a lot of women, and a lot of women do dominate these rooms a lot. So I just felt like having a black male therapist on this panel would bring a lot of value to this conversation, to give us insight on a male, from a male, black male therapist perspective.
Okay.
So if you can make it out on October 11th for the panel discussion, the caregiver panel discussion, this is something you will not want to miss. It's going to be a lot of valuable conversation. So
And where?
this is going to be at the Allen County Public Library downtown, the main.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, get us more information
Yes.
and we can air that up until then. And
Hmm.
again, thank you for coming out tonight
Thank you for having me.
and being with us. And I really appreciate it because what it's valuable information. And for us, smiling tears,
Yes.
you can smile through your
Hmm.
tears.
Yes.
Yes. So just remember that. And please support Tierra and her
Hmm.
cause. And if you need encouraging, reach out. She has encouraging words.
Yes.
And as we always say here, always protect your mind.